Okay, natalism. Natalism is basically the idea of um, birth. Okay, it's promoting the idea of encouraging population growth. So there's going to be people that are proponents and people that are against this. So two flashcards that we're going to be doing, and I have this discussed on two slides, okay? So the first one is antinatalist. I'm at the top. Antinatalist. These guys are going to be opposing policies that promote an increase in birth rates. So they're going to have super restrictive policies. And in many cases, there's probably going to be there probably will have been evidence where they're assigning a negative value to birth, whether they have a preference for male over female or a number of children versus a lower number of children, like one versus two children. So they definitely include a handful of different types of restrictive policies here. If you could probably think of one right now that you've heard of before. So go ahead and think real quick, pause, and come back. Okay, if you said China, yeah, absolutely. China has or has had the one-child policy. So the policy that China had created with the one-child policy was established in I believe it was in 1980. And in 1980, they essentially said that they only wanted parents to be allowed to have one child, and the preference was for male children. So there is a huge number of male children in China, massive, massive different population pyramid. You can see that it's definitely heavily male dominated over the last 35 years. In 2015, China has kind of stepped back from that because they're realizing how that has negatively impacted their economy as well as their ability to continue to have children in their state because there are no women there. There simply are just no women. So in 2015, they changed their stance. They kind of rolled it back a little bit, and now they are allowing for a two-child policy. But it makes sense, though, in a place like China, where currently they have the world's largest population, that they do need to have some type of preventative measurement because they're breaching their carrying capacity limits. So the opposite of them would be a pro-natalist policy. Okay, these people or states would be proponents for policies that promote an increase in birth rates. So they want more babies. They definitely want more babies. They're going to have policies that are fairly expansive. That would perhaps include things like tax incentives, paid tuition, maternity leave, probably lots of paid benefits for families. They might have many daycare centers, as far as even maybe going to having those within the office space with larger businesses and corporations. This means that they're encouraging people to have children, and the government specifically is going to be supporting a higher birth rate. Russia is one who has done this policy before. Another one that has promoted this policy is Denmark. They've also had issues with a low birth rate. Japan currently right now, and Germany, because they are in that DTM stage 5 phase right now where they are not replacing their population that's dying. So they are all leaning towards pro-natalist policies. So even in modern times, there are still people who take both anti and pro-natalist views, one of which is named Elric, this gentleman right here. He's Paul Elric, and he's the author of what's called the population bomb, and he believes that the Earth's carrying capacity is going to be exceeded and that it's going to develop famine and therefore cause population reductions. But then you still have people that are following the more pro-natalist approach, like Boserup. One was Julian Simon, who actually is a great opposes Ulrich by saying that resources are needed to support population, and by continuing to have babies, they are creating more opportunities, more technologies, more ideas, and that in fact they are not becoming scarce, and in fact they are becoming more abundant. So it's interesting to see. And clearly there is logic behind both of these ideologies, and there is factual evidence for really both that can support both of these theories.